And we're live, I guess. How's it going?
Hi, Stuart.
Hello.
Happy anniversary in one day.
Right?
Boxing anniversary, Stuart. Boxing anniversary.
Yeah.
Yes. As I see that, I like to celebrate in the abstract, birthday eve and Boxing birthday, because it's nice. You know, it's a bit of celebration, it's a bit of lead up. So, anniversary, Boxing Day, Boxing anniversary day. I think that counts. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Hey, good. Glad you agree. Whew.
All right.
Here we
Wow.
are.
Yeah.
I'm going to start sharing then.
Go for it. Guys, hit that like button. You know the routine. And also Super Chat. We want to hear your thoughts on these. We do have two to look at. We have the one from San Diego Comic-Con, which was a small clip from one of the episodes. I think it's called MetaMurfasis, where Murph is in a cocoon and comes out. We don't really see what he is at the end, but and there's also the trailer we just got from New York City Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con, and it's got some Borg and stuff in it. Samuel needs to move me over because I'm not centered properly, and that looks like shite. So yeah, he should get on that. What the hell, damn guy. But he can't hear me right now. So guys, if you can join the channel as well, it's another way to help us out on a monthly basis. It's kind of like super chatting. If you can't do it very often, just do it once a month, or head on over to Patreon/Trekyards as well. Check out the description of the videos. We do have links to our Trekyards merch at the Teespring and the TeePublic store. So go check those out. Grab yourself some Trekyards merchandise. We'd really appreciate that. And if you want to send us a PayPal, you can send it to trekyards@hotmail.com. And let us know in the regular chat you sent that, and we will read your comment or question via the email from PayPal. So Samuel's back, and he needs to recenter my picture because that looks awful.
Oh, yes.
Just saying. Just saying.
Well, we have moved a bit since yesterday. All the many things. Yes. Cool. All right. Let me make a poll as well, because I do love the poll.
Polls. Yeah. Yeah, as I was telling these guys, we do have two things to talk about. The San Diego Comic-Con clip we saw from MetaMurfasis.
An episode name.
Yeah.
Oh, so we know which episode it's from then.
Yeah.
Oh.
And also the trailer we just got from New York Comic-Con, which shows some goody good things. So
it was not shy.
No.
It was not shy on cool things. So I commend them for I mean, they could be forgiven to be worried about the fact that people might have forgotten they exist.
Should the poll say that? The choice be yes and very? Okay.
I'm having fun, Jerks. It's a good show.
Because usually yes is the first option. I don't know if you just missed that or something, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, it's if you recall, they had half a season and half a season, and then each half a season was surrounded by other things that were also impressive. So poor them. I mean, they take a long time to produce, so they're able to sort of get ahead slightly. But that is poor them for having to have such a weird release line.
It is weird because it was 10 episodes, and we know that there's 20 episodes in season 1. It almost makes more sense to say that was season 1. This is season 2. And do the 10 episode thing like everybody else.
I mean, it ended on a great note.
Yeah. And it could have definitely been a season finale. So somebody already commented about that. Why is it called, season 1 part 2 when it should just be season 2? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just the way it is. It's 20 episodes in season 1, 20 in season 2. So
it's probably a contractual thing with Nickelodeon. Like 10 episodes is not enough for a kid series, which I would agree. 10 is pretty pathetic for a kid show. But then doing 20 over a year and a half is a bit weird as well. So, I mean, but
yeah,
it's weird.
It is weird.
But I mean, this trailer has stuff in it. Originally we couldn't even show the Prodigy uniforms very much because it felt like spoilers, and now I can use the thumbnail because it's like, boom, there they are. Here they are. Yeah.
think that's what they look like.
What?
They look like some kind of sports outfit.
So what do you remember? Yeah, what do you remember? What did you think of the trailer then? Now you've had some days to dissect it on Trekyards' brain, as you have a Trekyards' brain.
Uh, I was excited, and I felt like finally got. I mean, the MetaMurfasis clip that we saw earlier in San Diego Comic-Con was interesting enough. Got a little bit of stuff in there, like Outrageous Okuna is there, and although I didn't know it was him until somebody told me.
Yeah, he's older. Although in fairness, he might not be outrageous anymore.
Yeah, that's true. So I was excited for that one, but then to see an actual trailer where you get some clips from different episodes and like little teases, like the new Starfleet Vulcan thing, which is let's copycat of Starfleet, which I actually like because it's in the Worlds of the Federation book. It was the same planet from Piece of the Action. McCoy left his communicator behind, and they used the technology. And when Starfleet returned, they found like they were wearing like similar styled Federation uniforms, but slightly off, and using Federation frequencies and stuff like that. They had like a little starbase set up. It's not going to be them, obviously, but I just found it really interesting that they're doing that because it's a nice. We saw Starfleet once. We're imitating them, and it's not quite correct. That's going to be really fun. We got the Borg. We got a whole bunch of stuff in that trailer, and it's looking to be quite an interesting end of season, or last half of season. So, yeah, I'm excited.
And are we going to get all 10 for once? Are we going to actually get them solidly? Are they going to forcibly stop us for?
Because they stopped after 5. We got like a mid-season break.
Yep, a quarter season break, Stuart.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hope so. Hopefully we get all 10.
The only thing they do is stop it to put out the first episode of the Michelle Yeoh Section 31 show. Wouldn't you be thrilled?
How about no?
You would be thrilled, Stuart. Admit it. Admit it.
Oh, I would. Over the moon, I'm telling you. Anyway, SVS Guru 2000 throws in €5.
Thank you.
They probably split it so the show doesn't overshadow the live action shows, especially Star Trek Discovery, which to me failed. Well, there was no overlap with Star Trek Discovery. So, if anything, it was to not overlap with Strange New Worlds and not have 2 shows running concurrently. But
nothing has a fixed release date.
Exactly.
I mean, but overshadowing is weird. They're all so different.
Yeah.
And surely you say that, but they did overshadow by having Picard end of season 1 or season 2, then Strange Worlds. Like, Strange Worlds destroyed Picard season 1, and then there was a similar duo another week, and one was clearly better. So they've done it several times now. They're not afraid to very directly, without shame, to overshadow. And it's like, guys, just because you have so much Trek. And we know that one more week could benefit any of these shows. Like, giving any show a week of production time would be useful. So,
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't think Prodigy really got the short end of the stick, I think, because that mid-season, like, that 5 episode and then the break, and then people kind of forgot about it a little bit. And now this long break between this and the last half of the season, I think, kind of puts it out of people's consciousness.
And it's weird because if this is for kids, and sadly kids' attention span has been reducing over the last 10 years, so how many kids who might have had birthdays, might be old now, who might have lost interest, who might not remember who Murph is? Now that said though, the first 5 was such a setup, the second 5 were a reasonably good payoff to lead to Starfleet. If this 10 now is going to be sort of a us Trek fans payoff, the story truly builds. So I could see their logic in that situation, because it's remarkable how well the 5 held up as a 5, as a brilliant cliffhanger, and then another 5. That's very smart writing to achieve that. I don't think they knew that going in. I'm not sure, but it feels like they knew that. But how could they? Because they've been producing months before. Because you can't write it knowing that in 18 months you're going to get a quarter season break. They didn't start filming Stranger Worlds and we're saying you're going to get a quarter season break. that's not, you know, Discovery Season 2 was airing when they were announcing Prodigy.
Yeah.
Like pitching it. It's actually kind of crazy when you think about it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a weird decision, corporate decision, and I don't know why it was made, but whatever.
But speaking of non-weird decisions, I'll go straight to the first shot. What a shot! They know that we, the Trek audience, like our ship shots, and this is a very normal shot of the Protostar, which looks great because the ship looks great from many angles. So good for them for designing a good ship. And then this very 3D, very sci-fi. This would be damn hard to do in live action, but in animated just a bit easier. So they start with quite a bold shot. I wouldn't say it's drop dead gorgeous, but it's like that's a cool shot. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's weird, the color scheme there, though. It's all kind of blends together.
That's the biggest problem. Yeah, it's all one note.
Yeah.
The advantage of a brown planet or a red planet or a green planet, yeah, this definitely does blend in, especially with the extremely bright hue, a glow hue around this planet, that little rim.
Yeah.
Almost identical color to the bazaar, to the warp glows.
Yeah.
So just yeah.
It looks better in motion. The stills don't really do it justice, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But great shot. I mean, I hope this is cool because it looks cool. Bit of Dal. Then we get
another planet, and that's the
Tars Lamora.
Dauntless there.
Yes.
Yeah, but this Dauntless you can see on the right hand side there.
Now I didn't see the Dauntless first time I watched this, but the idea they get Tars Lamora in the Delta Quadrant already. I love the passive cool factor of that. It's like, of course we slipstreamed to Tars Lamora. You know, you know, I'm guessing then that Janeway or someone in the crew, they might meet the little cat as a payoff to that, because there wasn't really a payoff to it per se.
Yeah, although that's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Although the question is, are we going to have the Diviner? Because we've got to really remember what the hell's happened, Stuart. It's been a very long time, but a lot of episodes since. Because the Diviner, last time we saw him, he's gone mad in a lava room, which could be the holodeck, could be a random planet, could be an asteroid. Is it in Tars Lamora? Because, I mean, trapping him in his own planet with because the slaves have taken the ship, so this is the leftover colony pieces, so no one should be there. What do you think? I mean, it's a weird context.
What happened to Deathlock? Like, where is he? Did he get killed? Dreadnought, whatever the hell his name is.
Wait, well, he got destroyed weirdly because they sort of all ran at him and he died.
Oh yes. Okay, I remember that now. Okay,
but we can assume he's not dead because he's such a design that was so underutilized, and he already cloned himself into one machine. I think he'll be back.
Yeah,
makes sense to be back.
Yeah, he was
taken out like a bitch.
Yeah, and we're not sure where the Diviner is really. I mean, he should be here somewhere, but
is he? Be a weird place to keep him on that place alone, because you're basically saying you're sentencing him to death if you're doing that, starving to death by himself. So you keep him in the holodeck, you keep him in, you know.
Yeah.
Either really, but.
Man, I don't know. I can see Janeway and crew like finding him.
That's the question.
Yeah. So I don't know how that would go necessarily, but
weird. But I love.
Yeah.
I love how this shot. It's not at all trying to brag that Dauntless is there, because you can easily miss it.
I almost did. I had to go back and do frame by frame. It's so quick.
But also, there's a weird thing in this. I noticed this because they released an MSD in the L cards. You can see it, and you can count the number of decks, right? And here, the window scaling sources what? 6 decks, 7 decks? Window line wise, maybe 8.
I'd say 8, maybe 9 at the most. But
when the Protostar is 6 decks, and later on we'll see a shot of it with the Protostar, and it's like 3 times as
massive.
Big. And given that they display inside the ship, you can only fake scale so much. I doubt it's a 35 deck ship. If it's an experimental Slipstream ship, it ain't gonna be giant. I mean, the Dauntless herself originally was rather sleek. So this I just think is interesting. You can sort of get a sense of the size. It's not huge. Just want to just remember that. But I like this shot. It's so cool. And I really hope we get also Janeway. I'm gonna go on record saying I hope she's in every episode in some small way, like a sting or an opening. Like give us that cat and mouse every single episode, because I really want to see. I want to feel that Starfleet connection that we're not going to get with Holo Janeway, because she's. Yeah.
I do love the line from Holo Janeway. You got the real me chasing you with a Dauntless class ship. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzy Medeiros, $2. Let's do the zero maneuver. Oh yeah, the evading. I'm not swerving on purpose.
I don't remember that.
That's in the clip.
Oh,
from
okay. That's why I don't remember it, because it hasn't happened yet.
SPS Guru 2000 throws in €10.
Yes.
I think they just had to take him with them and lock him in the holodeck. He was previously shown to be reliant on his life support tank. To leave him on Tars Lamora would be to leave him to die. Yeah, and we talked about that at the time, because he didn't need that to survive, and it seemed cruel. And we speculated whether he was left on a holodeck, but that seems kind of stupid in its own way.
It's not a solution. It's a. I mean, what's the solution? You just made the dad go insane.
I just kill him. Oh, wait a minute, kids show.
Holo Janeway's like, leave me with him.
Yeah, it's not made clear, so.
But no, you're right. The exosuit was a weird one as well. That certainly, if you recall, power leveled all over the place. It was strong, it was weak, it got destroyed. He was fine with it, he was fine without it. Very inconsistent in the episode. But they didn't really set the rules exactly. Because I can imagine that his original big-ass tank was something to keep him alive indefinitely. So he was fine, he just got a bit reliant on that to just keep him good. But if you wanted to, learn to live without it, you could. It's just you would then be dying in the sense that you only have so many years left to live. So I could see that being a justification. But next shot, you have the Holo Janeway and the Protostar. And is that a new room, or is that Dahl's stolen captain's quarters giant ass display?
I think that's exactly what it is. Yeah, because it looks like the bed's on the right there. Looks like there's sheets on it.
Oh yeah, I forgot these aren't the Protostar uniforms. These are the cadet Protostar uniforms. I always forget that.
Yeah,
because they're not actually officers; they're cadet officers. That's why they're the weird. That's why they're in the weird lycra, the white the lycra versus the nice clean proper fabric. But I'm sad though she's not going to be in Voyager uniform anymore, because this uniform is much less interesting. She looked good in Voyager.
Well, we do see a nice uniform on the real Janeway, so.
Yes, we do. But yeah, whole team with Zero in his coloured.
Very reminiscent of Peanut Hamper there, kind of painting the uniform on the. But
yeah. But they meet a guy, and this shocked me. I thought we were going to have a big will they won't they Starfleet connection. He's right there. Oh. Okay. We made Starfleet.
And he's got weird pips too, because he's got like non-commissioned officer as well as real pips.
Oh,
like he's got like
what? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's also got the, was it Future Imperfect com badge?
Yeah, all good things. Yeah. Future Imperfect's the line one.
Yeah, now is a good time for an ad though. That was a great ad.
And my annoyance to these com badges that we know they're meant to be silver and gold, but for some reason all the lighting makes them look gold, and it entirely gets lost. Yeah. Turn down the reflectiveness of the silver, because it's reflecting the gold. It looks much worse as being one big turdy gold. But that's such a true. What hell rank is he?
I don't know. It's odd, eh?
Because he's Denobulan, which is fantastic. Great bring. I'm guessing he's a hologram, maybe like a training. Maybe they say, computer, start Starfleet training protocol, and then he appears, and that's why it's a confusing rank structure. Because this is a weird room. I wouldn't. It's Protostar-esque, but I wouldn't. It's a new room. Maybe they're trying to. Because if that was the uniform that average officers wear, they don't have that in the database. Maybe.
Could be a sickbay thing. I think it is a training program, though.
Oh, sickbay is interesting.
Because I don't think we've seen sickbay a little bit, but not, like.
I mean, Denobulan EMH, I could see that. But I was very confused by this. I mean, I like the look a lot, but it's because the kids say, "Oh, we stole the ship," and he says, "Oh, what does he say?"
Don't recall.
Well, they say, "We want to join Starfleet. How do you get the ship? We stole it." So I'm betting he's either holo communication using the same thing that the DS9 team introduced, which is fine in that context. He's in a little bubble of like a little walking space. Or it just seems so cheery to be, you stole the ship and...
Yeah, I think it's just a training program. I do like that because their goal, they want to join Starfleet or go to Starfleet eventually, and I'm sure Janeway would push them to kind of get some training. Dahl's grown enough that he knows that he needs training, so I really appreciate that as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense that it's just another training hologram.
Although PX1767 has a question for you, Stuart.
Says, I'm 40 years old. Would I enjoy this show? I've seen most other Trek series. I love Lower Decks. You would 100% love this show. This show is fantastic and holds true very much to canon and definitely respects the material. So yes, I would definitely check it out. Make up your own mind. But yeah, I would say yes. And so would Samuel.
Yes, I would say you're not going to love it at the start because it's very different, but you will grow.
The first 2 episodes are a little eh.
Yeah, you'll probably grow to love it, but then once you go back and rewatch the first couple, you appreciate what they're trying to do. So either way, worth a get, worth a watch for sure. And there's way more than we thought canon in it, and that's a key for us. So yeah.
Raj says also he has these are the Voyages badge that's not been mentioned.
These are the Voyages is an Enterprise episode. What do you mean, sir?
Yeah. Ozzy throws in $2. He is Bob. Okie dokie.
The Klingons and everything. But I want to do a real poll, though, because I asked 42 minutes ago, how excited are you for Prodigy? The answer were very and yes. And 55% were very. And 45% were yes.
You didn't ask that 42 minutes ago.
42 votes ago, sorry.
Yeah, you said that, and I'm like looking at the 22 minutes we've been in the live. I'm like, holy shit, we've been 42 minutes already? And I knew exactly what you meant when I saw the thing, 42 votes. Core Cross says EMH could now be considered real life since the Doctor got back to Earth. And this could be a special rank for holograms. Ooh, and they could maybe change their appearance. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. And Raj says, sorry, all good things, I mean. Yes, that's already been addressed, Raj. Thank you so much.
Well, it's slightly different. The angles at the bottom are very slightly different.
They are a little different, yes. We did look at those before.
Because I was like, oh, breaking news. So I was thinking we'd do like a joke like, hey, it's the same thing. It's like, oh, no, it's not. Shit. It's actually not the same. I mean, it's close enough, but it's like 96%. But it's like,
Similar enough that most people won't notice. Because they won't do side-by-side comparisons, but...
Okay, this is going to be a hard poll, Stuart. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you got to keep in mind, too, before I read the poll. Actually, I'll just read it first. Are you more excited for Prodigy Season 1.5 or Discovery Season 5? So, Disco or Prodigy? Yeah, I mean, you got to kind of keep in mind that if something is different in this show, it's for a reason, because they go to great lengths to make sure that things are accurate, from the Ferengi Marauder we see to just a lot of the canon stuff.
That's just
a lot of the canon stuff is pinpoint accurate. So if there's a slight change in something, there's likely a reason, or it was thought out that it would be different. It's not a mistake. So
I mean, sometimes they run out of time, but they're very clever, that team. Lower Decks is clever too, but Lower Decks is a bit more of a we'll do it to the point of lunacy. But these guys are like, we have to be so freaking clever to work in our budget because we have such high ambition for what our money is. They have to be very, very clever. So when you see something like a ball cube, like, shit, yes! Like, it's extra... Yeah, it's extra special.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing I would say to PX 1767 is that, yeah, if you enjoy canon stuff, if you enjoy the way things are supposed to look, you're going to like this show, I think. So, And it's weird. It's a weird show in the fact that it's confusing as to when it happens, where it happens, and exactly what's going on. But that's all going to be revealed as part of their 40 episode arc that they have planned.
And even that initial confusion has been severely diminished. Spoilers, but you know, Delta Quadrant going in on the edge of the Gamma Quadrant. You know, they've now the ship can move. It's you know, like with Borg Cube in a minute, where the hell are they going to go? But back to the hologram for a second. That's a bold, bloody idea to do a hologram. I love that with the pips. Blue being medical. Maybe there's a reason they turn on the emergency ear mate or something. That's clever. Although I think they can't have two holograms just because of, well, at a certain point, is Holo Janeway considered alive? I mean, it takes experience of 7 years and EMH should be on. So no, she's still a program. But yeah, that's really interesting. Very, very cool.
SVS Guru 2000 puts in €5.
Thank you.
Considering I dropped Discovery after season 3, this is an easy choice for me.
Good. And guys, vote in the poll. I might send this result to somebody. So vote now. But now we get the controversial shot, Stuart, as the Dauntless. And we're not even going to hide this. It's just going to find the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Like nose to nose, tip to tip, Stuart. Just the tip.
Yeah. Yeah, and you see the size discrepancy here for sure. And later, I don't know if it's in this one or in the clip from the San Diego Comic-Con, but you see the Protostar.
That's next.
You got a shot of the Dauntless. You see the Protostar, and the Protostar turns and runs, and that's even more showing off the scale. The Protostar is tiny.
I mean, this shot, it looks honestly kind of like a Star Destroyer coming up, like the level of oomph. I mean, it makes Protostar look like a shuttle because you can see the window scale. Window scale isn't really negotiable. Like, it's visible. So I think this is all camera trickery because I wouldn't buy the Dauntless being, you know, 35 decks high. It's just not, you know. I mean, you can do a lot of weird trickery with a long lens, but that's really weird. I think it was one of those things of, screw it. It looks cool. Which you can forgive often, but comes across real weird.
Now looking at this here, I'm counting at least 10, 11, 12 decks on the Dauntless. Easily.
When the windows don't align to a deck layout, really, they're a bit screwy with the heights.
Yeah.
But it's very faithful. I mean, it's the well, no, it's being hit by a sun, isn't it? But although it's missing the inner deflector grillings a little bit. And no bridge window.
Yeah.
Or bridge. No visible bridge. Which is fine. Dauntless has...
I have a feeling like the Dauntless might have the bridge sunk down like 2 or 3 decks, kind of in the middle of that hump.
Because the Prometheus has an external, but I think the Dauntless has an entirely internal bridge, which is one of the things that it's rare about. What did you guys think of this shot? Were you taken aback by the size? Although so we know the ship shot is after they deal with the Cuda, Michael Cuda, because they're in the winter gear. So that sets us. If we don't see winter gear in the first episode, we're not going to get the Dauntless. So that's a nice tie-in. It's not really too much of a surprise when it pops up. But that's definitely the first time. Ooh, let me get a look at our Trill, our Andorian, and our Tellarite, but we haven't been introduced to the Jamil actress lady actor. But one of these guys is a famous voice actor that we know.
I gotta say, those comm badges look 1,000 times better on this uniform. You can see the silver and gold here, so...
Yeah, thank you for clarifying, yeah. I am pissed, though, still, that all the new Treks insist on having the comm badge touching the black line. It shouldn't be that high. It looks...
Well, I love the...
looks untidy to me. Like, it should be naturally pride of place. Every show does that, and it's wrong. I know this comm badge is longer, but there's a little bit of margin. Like, there's a sort of a set place where these things go, and they're really skewing it.
Did you like the variation on the uniform for the engineer, the Tellarite guy?
Yeah, I see. Well, he's in blue. So engineer?
Oh, well, chief medical officer, maybe.
Chief
Maybe
medical
it's a
officer.
medical
Yeah.
uniform. I just associate Tellarites with
Yeah.
engineers, so.
Well, I think they said he was an engineer, like as an engineering character, but I mean, blue is not engineering. I mean, Crusher got a custom coat, so
Yeah. Could also tie in kind of loosely with Picard season 3 and Geordi's unique uniform as well.
yeah.
Because it is a little different. Looks like he's wearing an apron in some shots,
Yeah.
but so no problem with that, honestly.
But I love the fact that we talked extensively about the uniforms, about how they were lacking colour. And these ones came out and they were like, "Yep, mwah,
Bing,
chef's
baby.
kiss. Good stuff." And I'm vaguely annoyed they haven't made one. The Chinese guys haven't made one yet because it'd be cool to see. But anything with the flaps kind of tricky. And I'm vaguely annoyed that everyone's going full flap because that means that's just the full evolution. Because now every show is a flap. But it works with the gold trim in a way that
I like the flap.
I know, but it's excessive if everything's in a flap. It's not as crisp.
Well, the next picture is interesting because it's got a Vulcan sitting at the helm, and you got a lady.
Oh, yeah.
One of the Trill lady has like pink boots, which is just weird for a uniform choice. I don't know if it's because she's Trill, if it's like a special
cultural boots.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe they're like
religious reasons.
Maybe they're like you know how when you have electric, you need a grounding. Maybe her Trill symbiont is so strong that she's a grounding to the floor.
That made no sense, but okay.
Now this is one thing I didn't note until yesterday. View screen.
Mm-hmm.
There's no view screen on the Dauntless. There was another wall.
Well, I also keep in mind the Dauntless was not a real ship.
Yep. But this bridge is fucking close. It's beautifully close. It's so close.
Yeah.
But there's that's a great size view screen as well. It fits in beautifully. It does the curve. Yeah.
It's not too big like in Picard where it's like
it's
or
big,
Strange New World,
but it fits. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, this is a very small note, but if you get it, you get it. And this they knew. So obviously they based this bridge on the real Dauntless, which was original set, but they used things from other shows. So that chair that you can see the let's say Ferengi, the Vulcan in, that's actually a super remnant chair of things like the Enterprise B and Excelsior. They just migrate over to new shows. I know because I've textured it 3 times for Trek Shorts. I have that exact chrome texture, like my version of it. I've done multiple times. So I love that huge attention to detail. That part of the fun of the original Trek shows is that there's a consistency. Even the Relativity used the chairs from that era, but with a few minor changes for like the colouring of the upholstery. Sometimes, but it keeps a really consistent look. So I absolutely adore that they made the effort to recreate the correct the movie look, because it's a good looking chair and it blends in well. It's a small thing, but once you've textured the damn thing 3 or 4 times, you know it. And it's a little bit different, but it's the same. It's meant to be the same thing.
Grant McGregor throws in $10 for a super chat, so thank you.
Nice, Grant. Good to see you.
I hope they change the narrative structure closer to classic Doctor Who with the 30-minute episode format. Only a handful of episodes didn't feel too short, but I'm more excited for Prodigy than Picard.
That's so hard to say because I think they've done very well considering they've crammed a lot more in 30 minutes. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, 30 minutes is just not. Well, it's like 24 minutes. It's just not long enough. We at the end of each review, we were like, we wish it was a little bit longer, because they do such great stuff with these stories that we wish it was like a full hour show, right? So,
although we could always just not watch them, watch week by week, just do 2 back to back and just have them be in a full 40-minute episode.
Yeah,
we do every other week reviews. That'd go well, wouldn't it, Stuart? Okay.
No. This show is very bingeable for sure, though.
It was a joy to rewatch it compared to Picard or Discovery that we just know. I mean, this was really nice to rewatch because the stuff was lined up. You knew it. Yeah, that was really. Yeah. I mean, better to rewatch some Lower Decks probably as a rewatch because you learn so much more in retrospect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially as the first time, obviously, I was reacting to the Prodigy design. Once you're sort of forcibly used to it, and then moving forward. But once you second time, it's just part of life.
SPS Guru 2000, €5.
Thank
Again,
you.
thank you so much. Janeway, pink boots, Trill officer. It's still regulation, Admiral.
It is
like
a bit
Savik's
garish.
hair in Star Trek.
I don't mind it. It's just daft.
There's got to be a reason for it.
Does there?
Yeah.
Or just the animator thought.
As you say, it's a uniform for a reason. There can't be any variations. So you should be fighting for this more than I am. But
Have you
I think
seen
it's just an
Picard
odd choice.
season 1, 2, and 3 alternating every year? I mean, uniform for uniform for these guys. They just look to me like cowboy boots. If you've seen How I Met Your Mother, he has his pink cowboy boots or red cowboy. I'm just seeing his Ted Mosby's here. But I really like the set. I really like the lighting. I really like the vibe. I love Janeway is same-ish Janeway but with that subtle grey stripe to show she's getting close to a future Janeway. Love it. Huge fan. Oh, I wonder. Is this... I just saw it on the view screen. That's going to be a Star Trek 2 vibe. They're kind of like going around regular...
Yeah, the tactical view.
Yeah. But just like that same... like, is that the Protostar and someone else? And they're doing a maneuver.
Could be.
Yeah. Cool.
SVS Guru 2000, €5. To be frank, but you're SVS Guru, you're not Frank. The only reason why I'm hopeful for Picard Season 3 is Rob Burnett insists that it'll be great. The trailers are so far tells me more of the usual. Well, if Rob Burnett says it, then it must be great. Fuck, don't get me started on that.
He's one of your idols, though, Stuart.
I like the guy. I love Free Enterprise. You know, I was a huge fan of that before I even knew I would ever meet this guy.
I interviewed you with him.
I do like Rob Burnett, but well, everybody's like, well, if he says it's good, it must be good. It's like, well,
none of you believed him when he said Discovery was trash. You're like, he's a hater. So
yeah,
like we're remarkably consistent on the channel. That's part of the charm. But then you have, Frozen Weather Gear. Because the Dauntless. Then you have Warp.
yeah.
Jesus, flying with a boy.
Well, a lot of people make the argument it could be Slipstream because the Dauntless is a Slipstream ship. We've seen the Protostar do this multiple times. So, is it Slipstream? Don't think so.
Yeah, the Protostar is not Slipstream capable. It's a proto-drive ship. It's not a Slipstream ship. So this is not Slipstream. And besides, even if it was, you wouldn't see stars in Slipstream. That's not how Slipstream works. But it is a weird... weird front view.
Isle of Film, who asked if you should watch this, puts in €2 and says, "I watched episode 1 and 2, a bit Star Warsy, but I liked it." To be clear, yes, we said the same thing about episodes 1 and 2. Trust me, it gets more Star Trekky moving
Very
forward
quickly.
now. Yes, episode 1 and 2, when we did our reviews, I said it feels like Clone Wars. It feels very Star Warsy in its approach and its animation. But trust me, it gets much more Star Trekky. So stay with it.
And as you remember, there's like 2 musical scores that are like just straight out of Phantom Menace. And there's one scene as well, and Enter of the Dreadnought is like super grievous, and there's a lot of Star Wars in the first 2, but 3 is good for its own thing, and it sets up the ship very well, and then it rolls in. And the last, there's 2 batches. The 5 is great, and then 6 is great. That's the special episode that we love, that our friend wrote. That's excellent. Excellent. Yeah.
Stick with it, Isle of Film, and I'm glad you listened to us and checked it out. Definitely.
I mean, it's not that much of your life to watch
it's very
it
bingeable.
anyway.
It's very bingeable. You can spend an evening and just watch it all.
Yeah. I need to have a good time. Here we get double Janeway. Double Janeway power. Cool close-ups.
Double Janeway power. What do you mean?
Ooh, a firing torpedo at warp. Ooh.
Yeah, there's...
Although, why the hell is there a turn in warp? Why is it a tunnel and why is there a right turn? It's not how warp works. You guys know better. Stop doing it. Just because Picard does it does not make it right. Although, look, the Protostar, as it gets hit, is set for proto warp.
Yeah, it's good. The engine's coming out. Proto warp engine.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's why I got frame by frame of this, because it went by really quick.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it at proto prep.
Yeah. But yeah, I was getting ready to go to Proto Warp because the nacelles are down as well, which is one thing I noticed. Um, so
Which is cool. I didn't know I'd like it when we, first saw it. It looked very transformery, but it works. It just changes the profile a lot.
mhm.
Although, do you think they actually escape then? Because I felt they'd have to, even with a pew pew, just because how are you
I
gonna?
think they do. I think they're gonna. I think it's gonna be a lot of cat and mouse with Janeway and these kids for the
Yeah,
couple episodes at least.
yeah.
So
Because we know it's a slipstream ship, or as why I picked Dauntless. I think that's a safe we know. And if they manage to get Tars Lamora, I guess over the season, but I'm going to assume it's the first 2, if not 3, or less.
mhm.
So I would say they're roughly the same speed, just duration. Maybe it takes like 2 days to get the same amount of distance with Slipstream than 45 seconds with Proto Warp. But it's not that, you can get there.
Oh, Isle of Film says TBC equals to be continued. I'm in.
Good. It
You won't
does
be
get
disappointed.
better.
You won't be
Yeah.
disappointed. And watch our reviews after you watch the episodes. You'll get a better feel for what's going on.
Yes.
So go back and watch those. And if you're able to,
Oh,
drop a super thanks
that's true.
for those old reviews. We'd really appreciate
And those
that.
are fun. Those are real fun. And we made some really good observation, question, query, possible answer things that it's fun to hear pay off or not, especially with Diviner and stuff. I
Yeah.
still love our debate on who the hell he is and when the hell he's from, or when
Yeah.
when the Protostar's from. We don't know. We don't. There's still a lovely bit of
Oh, hold on. Go to the picture where they get hit. You see Okuda. And look behind Janeway. It looks like that's the metamorphosized Murph.
Oh. Yes, Murph 2.0 has been
What the hell
revealed.
is that thing?
That's cool.
Yeah, I think that might be the new Murph. He's got legs. Oh, I'm surprised they showed that. I just noticed it. Can you zoom in on it at all?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Cool. All right. Well, that's a revelation during this live anyway. I didn't notice that at all till looking at this picture. Yeah, it'd be cool to see what Murph eventually turns into. They were really pushing those Murph plushies at the New York Comic Con, so
Yeah, that was funny. Apparently, it's 1,000 free,
yeah, I wish I could
and
have
then
got
go
one.
fuck yourself. It's like,
Yeah.
what? Why would you not make lots and sell them? I mean, I would totally have. I don't love Murph by any means, but I'd totally have one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can find a better still, because obviously you weren't looking for that. So
No, it was not.
let's see if there's. Oh, yeah, there is. Oh my god. Ah, that's an exclusive, Stuart.
I think it warrants an quick episode. They may not want it spoiled, but they spoiled it.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just gonna get the image. That's super fun. Yeah. See, we've got so used to Murph though being. It'd be weird to have Murph with anything else.
Just because he's humanoid doesn't mean he can talk yet.
No, but it implies that probably could, or something of the ilk. All right, many zooming ins. Well done, Stuart. Murph 2. Oh god, which is such a weird thing. Why would they sell Murph 1.0 when they're gonna make Murph 2.0 in like 2 weeks?
Because everybody loves Murph.
Yeah, but make them last year. Like, don't make them when you're about to lose the original Murph.
No, it's the best time to do it because people still want to hold on to the original Murph.
Oh, I see. Right, here you go. Yeah. Weird ass looking creature.
Wow.
Because we know that they've said it's a famous life form. That in canon it's not a new creature. So it's going to evolve. Because they've got a really good voice actor. Like, he's really, really well known. So he's hopefully going to be in it as an actual voice actor at some point. Versus they go, God, who could he be?
Well, there's the new Murph, everybody. This is the first time I've seen it. I haven't seen anybody else talking about it, so
Oh,
maybe it is an exclusive.
Cool.
Damn.
I mean, he looks all right, just a bit gangly, spindly.
SPS Guru 2000, €5. Murph is turning into a miner from Galaxy Quest. Not miners.
Oh, I can't wait for that to come out on 4K. I don't know if it ever will, but that looks so good in 4K, the miniature work.
Grant McGregor, $2.
Thank you.
Pikmin.
Yes! Yeah, man. Totally. Yeah. I mean, good for hugs for Rock Talk?
Rock Talk, yeah.
Yeah. With a G, Rock Talk. God, what could this be? I feel like it's going to be a TOS alien just because TOS is the big one. But there's obviously so many things in Voyager. Voyager make more sense because Delta Quadrant. Oh, maybe it's a baby caretaker.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Maybe he's a goo and then becomes a crystal. Changes state in later life. Oh no, the caretaker was a creature before. The crystal was the dead caretaker. Yeah, what did the caretaker look like? Wasn't that goo?
I don't know. SPS Guru 2000, €2. In this form, the only thing he says is, "I am Murph."
I thought that. I mean, they're obviously linking to that. That's obviously a ploy. So now this is really interesting. I feel like this is probably a safe possible. Let me just load a picture up. It's really not a million miles away, and since if you put a human baby and a 80-year-old, you wouldn't necessarily say they were super well connected. There's enough difference. So here's a caretaker alive before Crystal, and I was right. It is a goo reflective creature thing. So maybe he's a baby caretaker, which would make sense for Delta Quadrant. Would make sense why he's so powerful. Would make sense why he, is a special life form. He absorbed a bomb, if I recall.
Yes,
Like a caretaker.
He ate some grenades.
Yeah. What do you think? Now you're seeing it. Starts as a slug.
The blob's a bit away from. Blob's more what Murph was. It seems like he's moving away from that. So I don't know.
Well, caretaker's probably old though.
It
So
goes
maybe
back to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we going back into we always go back into diapers. Starting diapers, ending diapers. So starting.
Not everybody, but yeah.
Well, you'll get there.
Don't think so.
Shapeshift like Odo. Oh no, but Odo was very specific. They were an orange goo that couldn't hold its shape without active thought. This dude is not that. That's Hey Ozzy, good job.
Maybe he's a shapeshifter though. Like he just chose a form that looked like the people around him when he came out of the cocoon. Because now he can do that. He's more capable, and he can turn into whatever he needs to. That'd be kind of interesting.
Or you just watched too much Barney the Dinosaur and wanted to morph into it. I mean, it's very interesting, Stuart. Very, very interesting.
Nice catch.
Very nice catch. That's definitely a world exclusive. Then you have Going Through Place. Now they're in the Arctic outfits. I'm guessing that they are heisting this planet. That they found a colony that's been abandoned, and they're heisting it. That's my guess. For something to fix it, they have to bring all the weather gear. That's what I'm seeing.
It looks like just stealing a bunch of junk, like it's just a colony or a station.
There's not any power on. I guess the thing they're on, but you could fix that. It's kind of the vibe I got. Although, is this the same ship they've stolen? Do you think? Yeah, I guess it makes sense if it's an ice planet. Now this next shot's interesting because this planet they're on, this ice planet, so it must be the same place, has a Kazon ship in the background, so it's a trading outpost, and I'm pretty darn sure that front left ship is a take on the Zosa, the cargo ship from DS9, which is itself every other cargo ship. I recognize the shapes enough to be like, that's definitely a riff off the Zosa, which is fine, makes sense. It's a good design. So I'm guessing this is a cargo outpost they have to buy something from or heist, and they just threw in the Kazon again. Although more Kazon would be good. I like the Kazon. I would like some more Kazon. What do you think?
Um, it's really hard to say, but yeah, I think just the trading outpost is the
Yeah.
answer, honestly. Nothing like specific. And yes, they're probably stealing supplies or something that they need
Mm-hmm.
before Janeway gets there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that'll be quite a Star Wars chase. The ship there is very Star Warsy. At least it feels like instantly the back is quite Star Warsy. But
Yeah.
then you get the Winter Gear alternate uniform version, which is a bit weird.
Interesting gloves, and yeah, it is kind of a neat look. Again, it doesn't look very Starfleety, but
Oh, I'm
except for the
getting
colors in the trim.
It's very scant,
Yeah, it's Gant inspired. Yeah.
but it is. I mean, it's a logical extension of the uniform that there's a gold line. It's put a gold line everywhere, but it's like, but that feels entirely aesthetic. Entirely, there's no function for that. I don't know. As long as it's not like holographic and it can like form up. As long as it's just a. I mean, it's fine. It's okay. We don't really see winter costumes, so what do you want? You know, at least it fits. It's just a bit weird. And obviously got a ground vehicle of some kind, which I guess will be another fancy ground vehicle.
Oh, and then we get the Protostar showing up with these aliens, which are wearing
Yes.
Starfleet TOS uniforms. Kind of wrong color. They're like a green, and they're all the same. But
And then also
yep.
miss saluting,
Yes, they are.
which is pretty great. Okay, so the next view is a lot cleaner though. They're all firing a phaser at something, and the blue beams are back, Stuart. The BBB. Blue beam's back.
Yeah, and look at their phasers in the next shot.
Oh, look at that.
Very TOS like. See, it's like they saw a Vulcan science officer. Like 2 or 3 people on the planet saw a Vulcan science officer
Oh.
and told everybody about it. So that's why it's all the same color, or all the same style. You know what I mean? Like,
Now, is that a TOS phaser or a Discovery phaser based on that zoom in? Because I am bloody torn. The gold on the top is very bright, and I could see the front emitter being the tri emitter.
it looks like a Discovery one in size, but in the styling, it's very much trying to emulate TOS. It's just not as sleek and small and nice as the TOS one.
But we know the Metcalf was oversized though in the last season, so sizing isn't always the thing to quantify for.
Oh, I disagree, but yeah, it looks more TOS than if you're going to go that way. It's just TOS.
Because I'd
But
really hope. I mean,
like if you zoom in on it really close, it does look
Did-
TOS.
well, that's what I'm saying. I'm confused because it kind of doesn't now. I'm zooming in to me anyway.
I disagree.
That one has more. But I'm very excited about that. I mean, you know, TOS love is always worth it. And yeah, they've got the deltas. They've got the dress with the.
Notice how the deltas are kind of skewed, like in the animated series.
Yes, sir. Well, some of them are. They're actually kind of all over the place a little bit. Now, what a great. Yeah, random aliens met a TOS ship and got influenced. So what else are they gonna have? You know, are they gonna have are they gonna have a monument to Spock? Are they gonna have something of that ilk?
Probably. There's a shot later where they're walking down a corridor with these people, and there's a statue in red at the end with his hand up. It looks like a red Starfleet officer from the back.
I mean, let's be entirely honest. Who even mentions Kirk anymore? I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine if they finally got Shatner back, and he's doing press this button. Kirk speaks. Welcome to Sigma's 4. I am Admiral James P. Kirk. It's like, well,
James R. Kirk.
shut up. Got it almost right. Oh, I love this episode so much. It makes me happy. And I'm wondering, we've seen them variable in their uniform style throughout. So I'm assuming that if they try and do Starfleet-esque missions, they go uniform. Because they're not going to uniform the entire season, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know. This is interesting though. Like the stuff on the side reminds me of what we just saw them stealing from. So it could be that this is like an outpost that has like it's pretending to be Starfleet, so all these people are coming by and trading and stuff. They don't know really who Starfleet is
Oh,
because Starfleet might not be out this
yeah.
far or something.
Or we'll go one step further. I mean, who's to say if this is Delta or Gamma Quadrant? Why couldn't a TOS ship go through a wormhole, get lost, crash, its records be picked up? I mean, this could just, I love to do this with a Delta Quadrant race who happen to find TOS stuff and boom, now it's TOS. That's great.
Mhm.
We can play with a location that you can't really in like Picard or Lower Decks.
I could see them getting the signal that seems like Starfleet because their goal is to get to
Yeah,
Starfleet. Go investigate, see this, think, is this Starfleet? This looks a little weird or whatever
yeah.
based on our files we've seen. And then Janeway show up, intercept them. They got to get out of
Yes,
there in
other
a
film.
hurry.
Good, good.
Yeah, they got to get out of there in a hurry.
Mhm.
So they steal whatever they need and bugger off. And then Janeway just pursues them. It's
Yeah,
kind of the vibe I'm getting from this
yeah.
episode.
Super interesting stuff. But also, you've got if you go one back, a whole different thing.
Yeah.
What did I even take this? Although, I was going to say I felt this could have been the planet that the Diviner's from, because that I remember being a very cool, like a flashback to when Starfleet met them, and they, for some reason, doing some sort of mission they have to go in like this. Because this isn't the crew, because there's no giant lady or Zero, so it's got to be Janeway's crew, but they're not in Starfleet looking uniforms.
Mm.
I don't know.
Solaris, the long hauler rail fan, says that it might be a giant Spock for the episode of the animated series. It won't be though, because even if it was that planet, that Spock would still be alive because he's a giant immortal clone, and he would not have them look so crude. I'm sure, unless this is a different part of the planet, or they've heard of this and they're trying to emulate it. But,
Also, giant Spock is dead already.
Yeah, in Lower Decks, yes. It's true.
It's silly but true. He's already dead.
No, this looks like just very Kelvin-esque, actually.
It does. It does. Not
A lot of the things in this show look Kelvin-esque, though.
yes, because that's just sleek advance. But I mean, make a guess. Is this the Voyager, the Janeway crew? Is this, what do you think?
I'd say it's the Janeway crew, yeah. Because there's no odd shapes or sizes. They're all pretty much uniform, which means they're more likely just humans. You don't have like Rock Talk there and Zero and Murph and you've got. So yeah, this is definitely a Janeway crew. Would be my guess. Contour mode. Let's see. We got 49 likes. We're still not at 50 yet, guys. If you haven't hit the like button, give it a like. Really appreciate it. And keep the super chats coming. We're almost halfway to our minimum, so a couple of 10s and 5s would go a long way. So if you can help out, please do. Stanley says it's more like Coruscant. Well, yeah, but we're trying to. It's a cloud city, says Grant. Maybe like in the Cloud Minders.
Yeah, when is the episode of Andor?
Wednesday, I think.
So
Today.
So it's already come out? Yes. Yeah, I'm seeing review. Because stuff's finally going to happen in episode 6.
Yes, exactly.
Which is all... No, not She. What do you mean She-Hulk? Andor episode guide, you idiot. Episode 6, 12th, today. Okay. Cool. Sorry, yes. Really excited for this. But this might be a... Anyway, yeah. Then you got Rock Top making a call to herself.
Well, I'll call it to somebody.
Yeah.
And it's mirrored, so it's like looking from behind the screen almost.
Yeah. I think you should do personal logs and make them funny.
Wireframe mode, contour mode, and
Contour.
an adaptive mode. Interesting.
And you got some scenes. Oh yeah, getting your memory back, etc. You have a space. Well, no, there's a space station. That's in high Earth orbit, and it's the Protostar is off to the left, and there are other craft. This is a big trading post. Yeah. It's not the other places. It gives me. It does actually give me caretaker vibes.
does, yeah.
I like it though. It's spindly as hell.
Well, it's like a orbital tether, an orbital
Yeah.
elevator, because you see them going down the elevator later.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's cool. I mean, Voyager.
because the next shots,
Oh,
it's them going down the.
I thought it was sideways. My brain thought it was. I
Yeah,
didn't
no,
know.
it's going down.
Oh, that's great. Look at that. Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, hey, Delta Quadrant loves
We're
tethers. Do
going
it.
up because they're where they're standing, and then yeah, I think it's might be going
That's
up.
great. God, what's that gonna be then? Oh God, it's too many. It's too. They pull cool visuals from loads of episodes, and it's like there's no context. You can't.
Yeah,
That's cool though. Nice, yeah.
it could be that's this planet with the TOS like aliens could be where Akuna is as well. Maybe that's where they find him.
Maybe the planet's
Found a
called
place.
Sorry.
Found a place to hang out.
Well, the planet's called Ataka, so Akuna can hang out at Ataka. It's a
Akuna,
glorious day.
Taka.
Yeah. Okay, introducing this alien who knows what Dahl is. Is that the dialogue?
Yes, knows his species. It's you know where I'm from. I know what you're from. I think the dialogue is.
Very
'Cause he doesn't
organic
know
line there.
doesn't know who his parents are, and he doesn't know what his race is or his species. So yeah,
Very alien.
very kids TV show, early morning
Yes.
alien.
But well
Or
rendered.
just a-
But
yes.
well rendered. I wonder how much this dude's going to be in the as in the Akuda guy, Akonda guy. Hasn't changed jack in 30 years. But neither's my mum, so.
Exactly.
And it's funny, the only reason it's an eye patch is because Lower Decks gave an eye patch first.
Yeah.
The only reason. They've said that. It's like, well. Go on, eye patch!
It's a good look.
It's the worst look.
Then we got a shot of Dahl, like she's playing with his face, and then a shot of Gwen
Yeah,
with
Gwen
some
Stefani.
with some display screens behind her. I was looking to see if they looked Ferengi-esque. They kind of do, but not really.
Don't know.
Hmm.
It's weird, is what they are.
Yeah. But then, oh my god, the amazingness. Borg cube, baby.
It's a really good ball cube. I know ball cubes real well. Like I loved our episode on them because I was able to like dissect the different evolutions of cubes, and it was you can really pull a logic from them if you look at them back to back. But it's got a sphere. We can see that sphere, although it is weird because spheres are inbuilt, so weird. And the scale of the Greeblies is wrong, as in if this cube is giant, this cube is too big. But for them to read on this sort of thing, it's a simplification. I get it, but the way they've achieved the Greeblies looks great, even though they're the wrong scale for the scale. But it's okay. So it's a fine balance.
Yeah. Mark Lawrence throws in $10.
Mark!
Just been listening in the background. So close to the start of the second half now.
I'm
I
excited.
know.
Yeah.
October 27th. It's just around the corner.
Yes.
Yeah, the cube looks great. The interior looks even better, in my opinion.
Really?
And it looks kind of, if these Borg wake up, like these guys have no clue what they're in for. Because the Borg, remember them being so terrifying back in the day.
Well, I feel like they would know if the Delta Quadrant race. I mean, Gwen would probably know, and I could imagine that Jank and Pog knows because they're a good boogeyman for telling kids. But it does bug me. This is just how the interior of the Picard version looked. We've abandoned the vibe of the Voyager cubes with the green small thing and just.
Yeah, well, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
Like, I don't mind it, but it just looks worse. Like, so I'm sad about that. They went for that design. But the thing is, they would have been I don't know. I don't know. It's just sad because they've been so.
There's
good
a
with
really,
those.
there's a really nice Borg on the right-hand side of the screen there at the bottom.
So we'll get to it in another minute. We've got a different EV suit. This is a different underwater suit based on the lighting. Do you think? I think that's underwater.
I I don't know. I would say not, but because they got some falling debris and then they slide down a slope. I mean, it could still be underwater,
Because
but
there's the fog at the background that's very underwater,
yeah, it
and
could also just
the way the
fog.
dust goes up kind of vibes very much.
Could be.
No, no, it must be because there's a shot later on where there's like, the sea creature shooting them with arrows or like spears. It must be underwater.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
must be on. But then you have Protostar Pew Pew going to warp, or Janeway. I mean, these are all sort of the same visuals. There's the aquatic creatures, very definitely underwater.
Scary looking.
Yeah. There's they've obviously replicated a underwater shuttle. Finally getting Aqua Shuttle. We have mentioned it many a time.
Yes. And then them firing at something with their fancy new phasers.
That is not how.
Oh, they're firing at the Borg.
Yes.
Look at that Borg on the left, man. What's with the headgear?
These are real interesting Borg, Stuart. My goodness. Yeah, Starfleet Boyd pointed these out in our live. Like shit. He called them Hammerhead Borg.
Yeah.
Give me a full review on these because these are very. I had certain thoughts on these. What do you think design wise? Because they're so specific.
Well, they're more advanced Borg than what we've seen. Much more toned down with the piping. It's more closer to the body and not as janky looking. The body suits just seem a lot more sleek. It just seems like more advanced Borg, honestly. And it could be that the headdress there, the hammerhead guy, could just be an alien that needs that. It could literally be like a hammerhead type alien. His eyes are out, maybe. It's hard to say, but I think they look really cool and kind of terrifying. Like the one behind, one that's getting hit looks like a what are they from Hellraiser? Cenobites or whatever they're. Yeah, they just seem like more advanced Borg. And again, we don't know what time period this is set in.
My only issue is that to the hammerhead, right? I feel like I can see his chest. If there was a zip that went down, it's like a leather bodysuit that a biker would wear.
Yes, it does look like that.
Like it's so leathery fabric. Like the Borg in other Star Treks, even though it probably was a variant of leather or plastic, it felt different. These to me feel very artificially leather. Just the way the text, the way light hits him, it's very shiny, very leathery. There's like sleek lines that seem super inefficient. And the original Borg had like little inner greeblies that felt technical. They had lights. These guys are like bodysuits with bulk on them. It's a design. It's definitely a new Borg design. It's definitely not my favorite Borg designs. It's definitely itself. But I like the fact they can be truly different and original. But the fact they're keeping like the white face is a nice aesthetic. Maybe all Borg lose their eyes. That's an aesthetic to have as well. I kind of dig that. But they're very leather. I don't like that.
Steve Russell says this is set after Picard season 2.
Well, it's not. It's set way before.
Yeah.
Like 7 or 8 years. It's way before.
Grant McGregor, $5. Please call the hammerhead Mr. Heatsink.
Yeah. But great Borg shield. I mean, it's great. It's just not what I would have done. And that's a 2 levels of. Yeah.
I like the look. I really do. So,
but would you agree too leathery?
No, not with the progression of the Borg that we've seen from when we first saw them.
Okay.
Seems like a interesting next step.
I'm hoping they kind of address that in the logic that these are maybe Gamma Quadrant Borg, or near, or maybe this is post Borg being decimated. So maybe this is a reconstructionist Borg, or they assimilate a new race that all based on other technologies. So there's a race that does this is their main resource, they incorporate it. And if these are legitimate Borg, like Hive Mind, this will be the first time you see the Borg since Lower Decks' post-credit sequence.
Yeah.
Which is unchanged from how they normally look. But there's no, We're going full Borg. I'm excited.
And Verpine agrees. They do look a lot like the Cenobites from Hellraiser. Yeah, they do.
I don't know what it looks like. Yeah. But I'm definitely, and you said a second ago, they will be much scarier. I mean, Voyager had some good scary Borg, and Enterprise did as well. But kids against drone zombies, yeah, they're gonna have a fear factor. Yeah.
A lot of the stuff in this show has been terrifying already, and those aquatic creatures were no exception. They're terrifying visuals for kids. So, for kids, I hate that fucking term. Then we got them all running away from an explosion in space. Murph is not wearing a suit, obviously.
And Murph is still Murph, so we know this is
Murph.
early. But I'm guessing the payoff to them seeing the Dauntless is quite late in the season, so Murph transforming needs to be paid off. And at the end, we get the line of, I remember everything. So things will maybe come back.
Yeah. Yeah, exciting trailer. Some really good visuals that are very quick cuts. So it's kind of hard to see everything. So,
and therefore this is invaluable.
Yeah, I had to do some frame by frames to get everything I needed for this. So, which is annoying as hell, by the way.
Oh yeah. No, really good trailer. And you also want to look at the second bit of content.
Yeah, well, the first, because it came first. It was from San Diego Comic-Con, and it was a Prodigy clip from the next bit of episodes, from an episode called MetaMurfasis. Starts out with Murph in a cocoon.
I haven't seen it for a long time.
You probably watch it.
Skim.
Well, while you're doing that, listen to the audio, too.
Well, I can't, because you'll hear it, so I can't.
Oh.
I never can. That's part of the problem. But I can just find. I can skip.
Anyway, guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. We have 75 people here, which is amazing. Make sure you're subscribed and all that stuff. And also hit that like button. Let's try it. We have 59 likes. I think we could probably hit 80. So if you haven't hit like yet, hit it. We're like $3 away from a half of our minimum. So keep the super chats coming if you're able to. And
well, poll, Stuart. Give us a goal on the poll.
A goal on the poll. That rhymes. You're a poet and you don't even know it. Are you more excited for Prodigy Season 1.5 or Discovery Season 5? Well, we have 74 votes. I want to try to hit 100 votes if possible. People come in and they vote and they leave. So if you're new and you haven't voted, go check out the poll. And we want to get those numbers. 100 is a good number to get. So.
Cool. Yeah, Cocoon.
And Rock Talk is so excited to find out what's going to happen.
Yes.
But then
Although, do you think this is part of the reason? Maybe Murph's dying and needs to transform to live, and they go to this planet to find a thing. Or is it a weird side effect?
No, I think it's just Murph. All of a sudden, they walk in and he's in a cocoon, and they're like, "What?" Because Murph's always been like kind of a background character doing his own thing while everybody else does their stuff. I think it's just going to be a side story. I don't think it's going to be tied into what they're doing. That's just my thought.
Okay, so we see some Dauntless. My God. Yeah,
we get the Dauntless show up, and Okuna's like, "Well, you guys are in more trouble than I am." So, and that's a good. I like his character model. I really do. So it's a good look.
Yes. And then this Jesus Christ shot.
Yeah, I know. Well, Protostar is further in the distance. I get that.
Way further.
Based on the last shot, it's not that far in the distance.
Yeah.
But the size is just wow. You see it streaking away.
You get a really clear view of the underside, which I appreciate. It's the same transwarp drive.
Yep.
Deflector assembly. Cool. And if I recall, there aren't really windows on the inner rim of the saucer line. Although it looks like there's also a... Well, there must be anyway. And it's like a... under thing. Yeah, it's a very weird ship. I mean, it definitely feels experimental, like, engine-y. With how weird the entire bottom half is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I can buy it.
We got a great shot of the bridge as Janeway and crew walk on. I love her captain's chair, the kind of double pronged headrest thing. That looks kind of cool, but very, very much like how the bridge should look. So we've already talked about the bridge.
Beautiful.
In just the first part of the season. So.
And not that it's the same impressiveness exactly, but the Picard team was quite pleased to say we're the first people that did curved displays. Well, if you look at the sides, it curves down. It was curved in the Equinox. It was then curved on the Dauntless, and it was curved probably Prometheus, but I can't be certain. But I mean, this is a very close replica. Like they had curved, it was an edge curve, but they were curved. Although I'm intrigued, why are medical/science guys at helm? It's a weird choice. I know.
I could see science. I could see him running scans, but I think it'd be at one of the side stations. Yes. So, yeah, it is weird. So Janeway comes on and makes sure you catch them. She seems really pissed off. They warp out, and the Dauntless follows them. Then we get the Protostar doing this, and Dal's like, "Yeah, Zero, keep up those evasive maneuvers." And Zero's like, "I'm not doing it on purpose.
I just can't pilot for shit."
Yeah.
God, such a weird design. Yes, that warp.
And then the Dauntless is hailing them, and they say, "Do not answer that hail, because if you do, you'll basically infect the ship with." I forget what the name of the thing was, but there's something that'll. So they can't even establish communications, which would really look bad from Janeway's point of view. These kids steal his ship and don't want to communicate. So. Then we find out that the cocoon has broken open because Rock Talk smelled something and turned. And it's like, guys, we got a bigger problem. We got another problem. And yeah, Murph has metamorphosized. That's it. I really appreciate the trailer more than the clip, but
yes,
there's some great views of the Dauntless and stuff in the clip. So,
and I can imagine this is quite late in the season, because that, unless them dealing with Dauntless is only a relatively small part, relatively speaking. But yeah,
I think this is going to be. I think it's going to be either episode 2 or 3, possibly. I think Janeway's going to find them relatively quickly, and they're going to scramble to get away for whatever reason, and then they can't communicate, and they need to get the Dauntless off their ass to save the Dauntless. Essentially, it doesn't get affected by whatever the ship has. So I think it's going to be a game of cat and mouse. I think they're going to run into them immediately, almost get caught, and then spend a few episodes playing cat and mouse with them. That's my thought. But I don't think this is late in the season at all. Verpine, $5. Can't wait for the Admiral Jellicoe spin-off show.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Good man.
Jellicoe makes a return, which will be awesome to see.
I mean, he's got such a good voice. I mean, he's obviously much older now. But I haven't heard his voice, but he's got quite an iconic vibe. So, guys, that is the entire trailer. Closing super chats, your closing thoughts. Vote in the poll. 3 more votes minimum would be good.
Let us know what you thought of our exclusive find while we're watching this.
Yes.
The version of Murph
2.0.
You got to get some shots of that.
Oh my God, Stuart.
It's time for an ad. That was fantastic.
Yes. Very sustainably sourced as well. Those Ferraris, sustainably sourced. Exactly,
yeah. So we're just over a little half of our minimum. So yeah, some final few super chats would be awesome to let us know your thoughts on the trailer, anything you want us to talk about specifically. But yeah, there's not much else to discuss. So last super chat slot, Snipe War, I don't know. Verpine has it right now with $5. So Murph will turn into handsome Squidward. Yeah. Well, for 80 votes on that poll, guys. Might have hit the cap on that with how many people we have. So anyway, the poll is: are you more excited for Prodigy season 1.5 or Discovery season or Discovery season 5? Well, Prodigy's winning with 82%. Only 17 people had said Discovery season 5.
And it's amazing because that's they broke math. Somehow they broke math with this poll.
Wow.
1% of people that are not responding somehow.
Oh, Matt Boardman throws in $2. My sniped has been Murphed. Okay.
Murph has been sniped. That's why you're here. But no, this
we
is fun.
Murph, we like Murph. We don't want him to get shot.
I mean, I don't think we could do anything to Murph. They'll survive anything.
That's true.
Yes. But we have, of course, the Lower Decks movie tomorrow. Your first reaction and our review discussion. That'd be fun. I'm pretty hopeful, which might be a bad thing because expectations are high. That's okay. Then we also have... oh yes, we are appearing as part of the Star Trek Online Fleet Week this week. They've been doing daily large live streams on their Twitch, I believe, and various official cryptic parts. And I'm very pleased to say that we will be appearing as guests on a sort of a fan side, like an extra bit of content on Friday at 4:30 LA time. So pretty late.
Right after our live, right after our review.
Yes.
Our review will end and we'll have about half an hour to an hour.
Yeah, pretty late.
Well, for some of us, yes. Murphed instead of nerfed in gaming lingo. Okay, that's your Matt.
But yeah, jump into that. We're going to talk to the whole team. Thomas Maroney will also try and jump in, but he's busy. But yeah, we'll talk about ships, 4-Star Trek Online. That's exciting. Yeah.
And Simon Kmack says, you guys are one of the first channels I followed when I got into YouTube about 4 or 5 years ago. Excellent. Glad you're still here.
Yes. Howdy, howdy. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. Please still be here in 5 more years. Then you can celebrate your 10th year anniversary when we celebrate our 13th. Yes.
Anyway, guys, I think we'll call it there. We're just over half our minimum, which we'll have to do. But thank you so much for watching, and looking forward to new Lower Decks tomorrow. So
see Stuart tomorrow, because I'm
yes,
very hopeful for this one. At the very least, we'll be getting some sexy E time.
Well, sovereign time.
That's what I meant.
I don't think it's the Enterprise.
It isn't. That's what I meant.
There you go. It's a Wayfarer. Anyway, until then, he is Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley.
I'll see you guys later.
Thanks. Bye, guys.